Before we begin today's conversation, we want to acknowledge that we'll be discussing topics related to sexual and reproductive health, mental well-being, and personal experiences that may be sensitive for some viewers. Our goal is to create a safe and open space for discussion, but we understand that these topics can be triggering or emotionally challenging. If you find any of our content distressing, we encourage you to seek support from a trusted friend, family member, or professional, or you can reach out to our Bex's chatbot. Viewer discretion is advised. Up next on DiCHiPi UNFiLTERED.
On the topic of challenges, I was very, very, very privileged to have parents that painted out challenges for me from a very young age.
Yeah.
They modeled challenges as learnings, and you were allowed to make these mistakes and you were allowed to fail. So I get asked this question a lot in interviews and stuff. People are like, so what were the challenges?
How did you deal with sort of the negative aspect of you making then the decision to go full time and work?
So, I will start off by saying that the circumstances that my dad left high school in versus he left at 14 as well, versus the circumstance that I left in were completely, entirely different, right? So my father is one of 10 siblings.
That's a lot of siblings right there, man.
Massive. And he obviously left school to help with, in the household, because he needed to start working, because they were kids. He's one of the elder ones.
Okay.
So his elder brother had gone to India to study to become a doctor, because at that time Indian people couldn't study medicine in South Africa. And his other brother had left to become a lawyer. So he was the next brother, right? So obviously because he wasn't in university or because he wasn't pursuing a career like doctor or lawyer, he had volunteered to step out of school and to help to support the other 7 sisters.
This is massive. Pizza Salva. Welcome to episode 8 of DiCHiPi UNFiLTERED. My name is Barbara Moachi and I'll be your fabulous host for today. But of course, I'm not rocking alone. I'm rocking with the #1 slay queen in the world. How you doing, Azande? Yo, I've missed you, yes.
Girl!
Yeah, when last I see
How are you
episode
doing?
9?
How are you doing without me?
How are you doing? I'm trying to survive.
How has it been?
But my days of surviving are over because you're here. And that makes me really excited.
Yes.
Because your character taps into one of my favorite things about myself.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people can relate to, especially in the climate of South Africa with youth unemployment being so high. And that is being your own boss babe, right? So your girl is a professional at making her own money, and she really is in the business of getting that money because she will do anything. And she showed us that she will go to great lengths to make sure that she secures the bag. But obviously securing the bag comes with trials and tribulations.
Yes.
It comes with problems.
It does.
And there's one particular problem that she encounters that is very vital to her business and her career and her success and her dreams. Let's look at the clip and then unpack it.
Ngisacela ungiphi inamba kammeli lo phethe icala kababa. Sorry. Ngikukhuze kangaki ukuthi ukuyifaka faka kule lawsuit. Lento leni imesi man, imesi lento man. Uma ngiyacela. Ngiyabonga. Ngenzela ifavor. Into yokuqala nje ozoyitshela lo mmeli lo ukuthi lo baba lo ukhohlakele futhi uyimenemene. Siyazwana? Umtshele ukuthi ngisho kanjalo. And ifaka lethi lama vinyls angaphindezela.
Wow, so for Umpume, that was such a betrayal for her, because she had so much trust and love for her dad,
fathers.
Yo, fathers.
Love you though.
Love you though.
Love you.
So she was really hopeful that she could really rekindle that relationship with her dad, because she's really fond of her dad, and there's that void, that she's trying to fill. But it's up until then, the scene that we just saw now, that she sees that actually maybe this guy is not on the same, we're not on the same page, and it affects her a lot, because it's not just a personal challenge, but it's also a challenge to her career, because those vinyls mean a lot to her.
She can't do anything without the vinyls.
That's her style. There's nothing without those vinyls. So for her dad to come strip her off of that after everything that he stripped her off is just, it was crazy. It was really hard. Yeah.
And I can imagine it's this is somebody that you trusted, right? He
Yes,
promises so much.
Yeah.
He seems so sincere and
Yeah.
genuine. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, where maybe there was an investor in your business when you
Yes,
just
yeah.
started off, or you had friends that said, Chomi, if you start your weave business,
I will be
we're going to
there.
support you, we will be there. But then you
Where?
started, and it's like, no one's there.
No one
There's
is
no
there.
support. And emotionally, that can take quite the toll.
It does, and starting a business is not easy. Like it's a lot. So you need that support from whether it's your friends or your family. And Umpume doesn't really have that because her dad does this, and her mom is not so supportive as well. So she's dealing with those challenges, and she still has to push through regardless, And someone that she did try to because sometimes we look outside of like family and friends and obviously whatnot, which is when she was looking for a mentor, but that didn't go so well as well, So, but yeah, man, it's a lot, I guess, but that's what. It's what builds us.
That's so funny.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, And
Hey, but sometimes
yeah,
it kills you.
It
inside.
does. It does. But like, it's a testimony for other people out there as well. People can use that for themselves. And Ayiko Valley journey, that's easy. So. Yeah.
Speaking of uneasy journeys,
Yes.
I mean, okay, that's Mpume. She's like a fictional character to some degree.
Yes,
but I
yeah.
know in your life, on earlier episodes of this podcast, you shared with us how you've got a mentor. You've got someone in your life who
Yeah.
kind of directs and speaks to what it is that you do. And I'm trying to figure out, as a entrepreneur to some extent, because when you're an artist in South Africa, as an
Yeah.
actress, you're a freelancer. Are you not?
Yes.
And I saw
yes.
you posted on Instagram the other day. I think one of your characters are now released on Zanzi Magic. There's like a character.
Oh
of yours or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it's just that like there was a time where she wasn't showing, so she's back now.
Oh, in the series.
Yes, in the series.
So my
yeah.
question then becomes like, what do you do to make sure that you stay on top of your game as an entrepreneur and you keep securing that bag?
Yo, research. You need to talk to people. Hey, like it's the whole mentor thing, because you have people that have like been through these journeys before, So like it's not a guess to make it easier, but it's something that you can use to sort of like gauge, and accomplish certain things, So research, talk to people. There's big sis,
Networks.
There's big, networks. Really talk to people, and yeah, do the research for yourself as well. Like, just go out there, put yourself out there, try different things. If this doesn't work, try another thing, and for the mere fact that one thing is not working out, it doesn't mean that like
Nothing will work out.
I always say just, don't get distracted by things that have nothing to do with your goal. And like, if you so happen to be distracted, it's fine. It's just for that time being. Just don't forget what you want to achieve,
That is
Yeah.
so good. That is so good.
Stop
I
it.
think speaking of talking to
Stop
people,
it.
there's someone I want to invite into this conversation.
Yes.
Particularly because your character is someone who's trying to build this makeup
Yeah.
thing, but she's doing it on the side, and she's doing so many different things on the
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
And today's guest is someone who also started a makeup business,
So
but this girl
excited.
did not
Yes.
do it on the side. She did it with her chest. So let's meet Rabia. It's time to meet the fabulous Rabia Ghoor. DiCHiPi UNFiLTERED. It's time to meet the fabulous Rabia Ghoor. And Rabia is someone who really has accomplished a lot at her very small young age. At the age of 14, she launched a makeup brand and somehow ended up being the Forbes Woman Africa Woman 200 million Canadian. Lots of things, big titles. Rabia, welcome to DiCHiPi UNFiLTERED.
Wow, if I could only get you to intro me every single
She
time
said
I
every
meet
single
someone.
time. I mean, someone. The fabulous
Yes.
200 million Canadian Forbes something. Just know she's
I'm not
big.
going out again unless it's with you.
Period. You know what? I will take that. Please put me in your bag. I cannot tell you how excited I was for this day because I've been following you for like 100 million years and watching your journey, which has been incredible. I actually first saw you at the YFM grind.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
Where you sat on the stage and you were kind of like, hey guys, my name's Rabia. I'm kind of awkward. I might just be all over the place, but you'll roll with me. And you killed that. But what I loved about your story is that you're so authentic. Like, you're not someone who, as much as you are the face or not the face, or founder of a makeup brand, something that we would expect to be very like, I don't know, superficial is the word I'm looking for, and like up there, uptight, like you just show up like, hey guys, I'm just a girl, you know, and don't beat my face, don't transform me, like I still want to look like me, I still want to be me, and I think that's what your brand represents. Switch Beauty is very much for real people by real people. And so, yeah, thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Honestly, the energy in this place is like very relaxed, very different to like other interviews that I've done.
Yeah. I mean,
And,
you're
like,
wearing a blazer that day.
you know,
You're very serious.
when you see the shoulder pads come out, you must know I'm not.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
So I feel very honored to be in the company of such authentic and genuine people. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so, okay. For me, I'm so excited because you know what? The industry that you're in is the industry that my character is in, or well, trying to get into, you know,
Okay.
pushing in the story of DiCHiPi, which is makeup. So if you could just explain to us how it all began, how did you come about starting Switch Beauty?
Okay, so you know, earlier in the intro, you know, you were like, "This is Rabia. She started a makeup brand when she was 14,"
Yeah.
and a lot of the time people say that because that's the thing that sounds the most like interesting, or the thing that will like, you know, garner people's interest. But when I was 14, I didn't start a makeup brand. I started an Instagram page where I happened to
yes.
sell some makeup brush cleaner. And that was sort of the segue into it, right? So I wasn't really taking it very seriously. It wasn't like the serious, yes,
Empire.
big ambition. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like, hey, this is a cool thing. Let's sell some. Because I'm Indian. I sell things.
She
You know?
said, because I'm Indian, I sell things.
I
That is wild. That is the wildest thing I've ever heard anyone say.
Yeah.
She said,
The ones that came before me, the ones that come after me, we're all going to sell something.
just gonna be
Yeah.
selling. That's funny.
What might be sold might change, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to sell. And so, yeah, I was just like, cool, I would like to buy this. So I'm sure there are other people who'd like to buy this.
Yeah.
Let people know that I'm selling it. And how do you do that in this day and age? Insta.
100%.
That logo, bruh. That logo came off Microsoft Word.
I'm
Please.
screaming.
What?
Not even Canva,
There
nyana.
was no Canva.
Oh,
be,
yes.
Be
Yes,
so for real.
That
Yeah.
was what, 2014?
Please. I was 14 years old. I probably couldn't even spell Canva.
Boy, it's crazy. I think for me, my chat is, so you said your dad was an entrepreneur and he
Yeah.
probably was one of the people that really modeled it for you to be able to see. But what I find interesting is like, okay, you're 14 years old. Now we know you as Rabia Boss Babe, cover of the magazine, you know, doing things, killing it, Switch rallies, selling out all the places. But were you always a boss babe, or is that something that you grew into?
Wow. Define boss babe.
Boss babe, like how you're the boss.
Someone who's on top of her
You're on
things.
top of the things.
Top
You're
of
killing
the
it.
things,
Because I mean, technically,
making
that's
the
what you
things
are right
happen.
now. You're a founder. You've got people working under you. You've got,
Yeah.
you know, things to delegate, people
Wow.
to tell to go there. You're
Yeah.
living in Cape Town, then Rosebank, then Pretoria, then this part. That's a boss babe.
Yeah.
Right there.
Wow. You know what? In primary school, they used to call me an instigator.
Okay.
So that should probably tell you all you need to know.
Yeah.
I think I've always been like always been one to rally up the people. I've
Yeah.
always been what did Kanye say? Gets the people going.
Yes,
Gets
yes,
the people
yes, yes.
going.
So I feel like maybe not like boss babe, but like I've always been loud and I've always been with an agenda. Let's say
She
that.
said,
Yeah.
always with a girl with an agenda. That's really cool.
Yeah. What are the challenges that you deal with, and how do you come across that?
On the topic of challenges, I was very, very, very privileged to have parents that like painted out challenges for me from a very young age.
Yeah.
They modeled challenges as like learnings, and like you were allowed to make these
fail.
mistakes, and you were allowed to fail. So like, you know, I get asked this question a lot in interviews and stuff. People are like, so what were the challenges? And I always have this lost look in my eyes, because for me, growing up, challenges were never like entertained as challenges. You were never like allowed to have this pity party, or like even allowed to like say like, oh, this thing is holding me back. From the time you said, oh, this thing is holding me back, you already asked, oh, how are you going to conquer it, or how will you proceed? Because this was the like only option, not in a toxic like way, more just like
Yeah.
in a, okay, babe, come, let's go, we're going.
How did you deal with sort of like the negative aspect of
Yeah.
you making then the decision to go full time and
Yeah.
like work?
So, you know, I will start off by saying that the circumstances that my dad left high school in versus he left at 14 as well. versus the circumstance that I left in were completely, entirely different, right? So my father is one of 10 siblings.
That's a lot of siblings right there, man.
Massive, massive, massive. And he obviously left school to help with, like in the household, like because he needed to start working because they were kids. Like he's one of the elder ones.
Okay.
So his elder brother had gone to India to study to become a doctor because at that time Indian people couldn't study medicine in South Africa. And his other brother had left to become a lawyer. So he was like the next brother, right? So obviously because he wasn't in university or because he wasn't pursuing a career like doctor or lawyer, he had volunteered to step out of school and to help to support the other 7 sisters.
This is massive.
So I could go to my parents and be like, guys, I have this, semi-established operation or project and I want to pursue it, and my parents could support me wholeheartedly, and it was a very positive thing that I was leaving school. It wasn't like I have to leave school because I have
she's
to.
leaving school because she's making that money.
Girl, bank.
Yeah.
And so also it becomes very easy for your parents to support your dreams when your dreams are like a little bit established, right? You can't go to them in grade 8 and be like, yeah, I want to leave so I can start.
Yeah.
It's like,
Side eye.
so, it's got to be like, I want to leave because I have started, and here's the balance sheets. Please take the receipts.
Yeah.
What are they going to tell you? No. You making
Because
money.
you can see the money.
Like you
see
can,
the-
you
can
know.
see the
Until if
money.
your parents are Indian and you show
She
them
said
money.
your parents are Indian.
You don't have to say anything else.
People are often like, how did your parents let you leave school? I'm like, go make money. Make
Yeah.
money.
No, that's real. That's
Yeah.
real. I think it was the same thing with me when I made the switch then officially from engineering to then digital
Yeah.
marketing. It was like there was evidence of money. Now I'm
Yeah.
paying my own school fees. Like, are you gonna say no? No, you're
You
not gonna say no.
can't. You
You're gonna let me
can't.
go.
So what are you going to do? Cut me off financially.
Well,
I'm so sorry, Mom.
you really are not going home tonight. You, ma'am, need to find an apartment. You need to find a new place to stay.
Yo,
You need to
girl.
find Habibi.
Where is
Habibi,
he?
if you're out there,
Where is he?
this is the time to come and fetch your girl.
But that's so beautiful, though, to have that amount of support, and a lot of people don't have that. Like, going back to Umpume, she didn't have that. Like, her dad was using her, mom was not so supportive, So what advice do you have for, like, another Umpume out there who wants to start a business but maybe does not have much support, you know? Yeah.
100%. So I think about my journey, and I think about all the liberties and privileges that I've been afforded, and all the things that I've learned and how strong I've come out of it. And I say to this person that, like, you are set back so that you can come back 10 times stronger than me.
I love that.
You can come back like conqueress, empress type, like,
Yeah.
nothing can touch you. So if you're set back in that way and you still choose to pursue your dreams, to pursue your career. When I was younger, and I used to watch people on these interviews say, like, pursue your dreams. Like, I was like,
Pursue your
girl,
dream.
of course you saying pursue your dreams because, like,
you're in it.
because you're in
Yes.
it and you're on the other side of it, and it's so easy for you to, but, like, that advice they give to, like, budding entrepreneurs that, like, just start and, like,
Yeah.
zero in and focus and, like, put your blinders on, and, like, the reason why they keep giving this advice is because it keeps being, like, relevant. It keeps being the truth. And you understand that once you're on the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
But, like, if you are able to come from those circumstances, even not here, even here, then, like, pat yourself on the shoulder, keep going. Because, like, and know that when you get there, your contemporaries or the people who society views as your competition will be, like, 10 times behind you, or, like, 10 steps behind you, because no one will have fought that hard to be where you are, to have, like, made it out of those circumstances, or the lack of those liberties, or the lack of those privileges. Like, it's funny, you think the thing that sets you back is your setback, but it's actually the thing that progresses you forward in a way that you can't come back from. Right? It's actually the thing that advances you in a way that you can't be, like, what's the word, disadvantaged?
Just like, you know what, we hear
As
it.
long as it doesn't-
We hear it.
I know that you know what I'm saying.
And if I
We
know what
get
you are
you.
saying, that means that you have said it.
You know?
Do you understand?
As long as it doesn't matter.
You're very intriguing for me because it's like, you show your parents this balance sheet and you're like, I'm making the money. What you gonna say? I'm going
Yeah.
out. While you dropped out of school to focus on your thing. I think for a lot of us, we're managing a million things at
Yeah.
once. And I know Azande, I almost called you Mpume because you're that girl.
I mean-
Azande is in the business of getting the bag. Like, she's literally got a flight right now at 2:30. Okay, so Azande is gonna go handle that business, and while she does that, I think we should recap and look at Mpume's journey as an entrepreneur. Let's go.
Re tlameha makeup ya hao e sentse sefahleho sa ka wa bona sefahleho sa ka se bodile jwang makeup ya hao e sentse sefahleho sa ka se ka ntjwetsa gore ke eme
O bua ka eng?
ke re wa bona sefahleho sa ka se jwang
Oh, sawara, ayibo, relax, ngizokushaya nge-face beat yamahhala, yabo, ngeke uzukhokhela uthe, yabona nje futhi ngama-products amasha.
ke ya kae le Facebook ya hao ya mahala ke batla tjhelete ya ka pay me my money man.
So that was Mpume's little drama fiasco. Someone basically came up and said, look, your makeup, a mess. I can't buy this. I am not rolling with this. And we've got somebody who is very experienced because, ma'am, you started first as a reseller of makeup. So you're purchasing brands that already exist and selling it to people on Instagram. But then you transition and become someone who creates her own makeup. My chat is, that is such an audacious thing to do. Like, who do you think you are in the face of Maybelline, Revlon, all these big names to then go and start a Switch Beauty?
Yo, dude. So I think it really helps to. There's this saying of like, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is bit by bit, right? And I think it really helps to like take this big ambition or this big dream that you have and just make it into tiny little chunks of things to do, right? So you're not starting out saying I want to rival X and Y and Z and I want to be. You're just starting out by saying like, I want to do something. I want to see something.
I
Let me
wanna
see.
see.
Let me see. And
What
I
was
think
your first product?
I think if you treat it like an exploratory mission, like it's like this fun, exciting thing, not this. It doesn't become this daunting ambition that you have. That if you don't realize it, then you'll be a failure, or like you. I feel like
100%.
sometimes we set ourselves up for this anxiety or this great big burden when it comes to pursuing our dreams, right? We are always in the back of our minds. It's like, oh, but if I don't get this title that I want or this award that I want or this, if people don't see me in this kind of way, in the end, this will all have not been worth it. Whereas like I had the privilege of starting out very young, and when you're that young, nobody's really like looking at you for like, oh, what are you studying, or what do you want to become, or what subjects are you taking, or I feel like the older you get, people just have these questions, and you almost feel like you need to. They feel like trick questions. They feel like it feels like you need to answer in a certain kind of way for
You to be deemed as respectable.
Exactly. Right now, you're building this version of yourself in their heads. You're still. My shoulders are small. I can't carry that.
Period.
Please, okay. So yeah, I had the privilege of starting out young, but I feel like we can all learn something from kids, right? And that is like, it's not that deep. Be for real. It's not that deep. Like, bit by bit,
Yeah.
I wonder if that answers your question.
It does answer my question. I think for me, then it becomes about then how you built that mental fortitude, because to make the decision at 16 to say, right, everybody says I need a matric to be successful. Education is the key to success. I'm going to pause it right here. I think I've got enough keys and I'm going to start my own thing. Was there no sense of fear of failure? Like you're saying, you're making it this big thing. It's not that deep. But the reality is you are now going to leave high school without a matric. You're starting this brand. What were the thoughts of what if it doesn't work out? Like where will you bounce back to because you don't have a matric to bounce back to?
Again, privilege, eh? Like, I think for me, I remember chatting to my parents about it, and they were like, Rubs, if it doesn't work out, you can just go back to school.
Real?
And they made me think of it, like going back to school, they made me think of it as a positive thing. Like, I feel like a lot of parents would have been like, yeah, and then what are you going to do? Go back to school.
At your big age.
It's like a negative thing. So already I felt positively about going back to school. Like, if it doesn't work out, of course, I'll just go back. I'll just go back out.
It's simple. School doesn't run away.
Be for real, right? So, like, they engineered that thought in mind. Because, like, you're 16. Your parents create the world for you. You are not
100%.
creating the world for yourself. You're being taught fear. You're being taught positivity. You're being taught confidence. You are absorbent and malleable and neuroplastic. And, like, you're building your internal model of the world based on the image that your parents create for you, or the elders create for you.
Yeah.
So, like, I was, again, very privileged for my parents to have made it a positive thing for me to go back to school. And when you're leading with that positive vibes, like, it works out for you. It's true. If you're leading with that backing, that thing of like, there are people in my corner who, we didn't come from money, but my parents never needed money to give me confidence, right?
That's a bar right there.
If you say everyone grew up with like silver spoons in their mouth, and I grew up with a platinum spoon in my mouth because I was given confidence, positivity, like true backing, not, oh, if it fails, we'll support you financially. It was like, if it fails, we will support you in any way you need to be supported. We got
That's
you.
so good.
We're here. And like, I was lucky enough to be the last of 5 children. That's like when I was born, my dad was 50.
Oh, wow.
So they were like in this wise era, this like,
Like we've seen.
this elders era, So they're kind of like my grandparents, right? Because like my dad's 74 now. And my mom was 40 when she had me, right? So like they also had version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. I was like beta version 5, bruh. I was like the most refined version of the software. So when I came, they were also like, Rabia, we are tired, babe.
She said, we are finished.
We are tired. Please, it's been for 10 years. My mom was either pregnant or breastfeeding. Be serious.
That's so deep. How many siblings do you have? Oh, that's a lot of siblings right there, man.
So she said, just do whatever you want. Don't die.
Oh,
Be
you
exhausted.
didn't die. You're still here.
And so you can be free, right? Your parents are not like hovering over your shoulder like, oh, your school, oh, your marks, oh. It's kind of like, they said whatever happens, just don't die. I'm not going to die.
And that's a cool thing. And I think I love the picture that you've painted for us, because I think in the series, the picture that we had was of an unsupportive mother, a father who was kind of like a scammer, basically. Because let me tell you, this girl had another side hustle, which was her DJing business, right? And her dad comes through and he's like, oh, I need these vinyls to sell them, to pay the lawyers for an important case. And when I win the case, I'm going to take the money from the case and buy your vinyls back. Eventually, she gets the contact of the lawyer, and speaks to the lawyer to say, hey, how's the case going? I can't get a hold of my dad anymore. And the lawyer says there is no case. The case has been dead for years now. So essentially, her father has scammed her out of the ability to produce fruit and have a business. And I think what I would love for you to speak to is the importance of honing in on one thing, because Switch Beauty has now grown to over 130,000 followers on Instagram. And that's just Instagram alone. I don't know all the other stats around it. But for us, we've almost normalized this thing of like, have 7 streams of income, be a DJ and a makeup artist and sell weaves and do these things. What is the importance of singling down on one dream and going full into that?
Wow. Wow. There's two things I want to speak to. And the first is obviously what you're talking about, but I'll start with the second, which is it's so important as you pursue your dreams or, aspirations, career developments. It's so important to have blinders on, right? Because like when a winning horse is in a race, when a winning horse is in a race,
that's important.
They put blinders on it so that it can't see what horse A and horse B are doing. It can just focus on what is right in front of it, the task at hand.
That's good.
And so the first piece of advice is blinders. You do not want to see what your competition is doing. Of course, it's important to be on the pulse of things and to be trained away or whatever.
Because you're very trendy. She said, thanks, girl.
It's important to be trained away, but I think sometimes when you are too trained away, you lose the ability to be the creator of those trends or the origin of those trends, right? Because you're like, oh, they're doing this way, okay, and oh, they're also doing it. If they're doing it and if they're doing it, surely I must do it. Whole time in your brain, they could have been in a whole other idea, like completely different to what they were doing. So blinders is the first thing. And then the second thing is honing in on one thing. It's important to dabble. I must say it's important to dabble.
What did you dabble in?
Hey, girl.
She said, hey, girl.
I told you I'm Indian. Please.
Okay.
I've been selling stuff. Please. I remember vividly grade 3 and 4. My brother, who's a year older than me, we would both, if break time was in the 5th period, we would both tell the teacher that we needed to go to the bathroom 15 minutes before the break time or 10 minutes before the break time, right? And him and I would buy out all of the chicken sliders in the cafeteria.
You're joking.
Because that was the hottest commodity, right? Now the bell ring, it's break time. And my brother and I have a monopoly of the chicken sliders.
Wow. Man, I don't know if I'm the only person who's shocked at this, because this is grade 4. How are you doing this in grade 4? Who even thinks of that? Do you know what I was thinking about in grade 4? I was creating fake magazines. That's it. That's as far as my creativity went.
You see, you weren't trying to sell them.
You were scamming the school, ma'am. What did the teachers say? Didn't anyone try to put a stop to it? What happened?
Wow. I don't think I think we were quite discreet about it for starters.
Okay.
We'd been made aware from our previous ventures that selling things was not allowed.
So this wasn't the first time.
There's always a way around it, isn't it?
So how did you then apply all of that and what you've learned from like people telling you no, or like, you know, you've come up with an idea, it fails, to then foolproofing Switch Beauty? Like, how did you apply that in making sure that your business is a true business that will not be shaken?
I wonder. I don't think of it as a true business that will not be shaken. I think part of why Switch has been so successful is because I always think of it as my little project or my like side hustle. I always tell people it's my side hustle. My full-time job is being hot.
Oh, period.
You know,
I know, that's right.
Everything's gonna come after that, and it is a full-time job. It is a full-time
It's
job.
not easy being a hot girl,
Please.
but somebody has to do it, you know. And I
I
just want to thank you for carrying it like that, because I cannot imagine what you go through. I can't.
Someone's gonna do it.
Someone's gonna do it, and it's you, and you're doing it very well. But then when your side hustle grows that successfully,
Yeah.
how then do you manage that? Like, what was the thinking behind it?
Hey, dude. My thing is like keep treating it like a side hustle, because the second you start taking it too seriously, that is when it starts to control you.
So you're not taking it seriously.
You know, there was a part of this book that I'm reading, excuse me, nasal hay. There's a part of this book that I'm reading where the author says like when you're convinced that your work is important, that's when it has the greatest like chokehold on you, like hold over you. I'm the way I'm saying this book, like as if it's not Marcus Aurelius Meditations, but basically I could be misquoting it, but it's like when you're convinced the most that your work is important, that's when it has its greatest like seduction over you. And like you see it all the time. People become like cuckoo.
Crazy.
They're like, no, my art, my career, my business, my offering, this piece of art that I've created, and it's like this pillow, or like, you know, just chill. It's not that deep, it's not that serious. The less seriously you take it, the more likely it is to be like successful. And that doesn't mean that you're not. I'm up every single day at 4:30 a.m. I go to sleep at 9, to be fair, but like by 6 o'clock my phone is away. I've done the meditation, like I did the bedtime yoga. I even
did the bedtime
smell
yoga.
the lavender. Everything is all done, and I'm asleep. But like, it's not to say that taking your work seriously means you don't work hard, or you're not putting in the time. It's not, it's not to say that you're not grinding. It's just to say that if you there's a little bit of wiggle room, right? So if things don't go exactly the way you planned, you're not staking everything. You're not staking your personhood on that outcome.
It's not your identity.
It's not you. It's not you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a really great piece of advice that I was given once. It's like, you know, you hear all the time of like these super overqualified people who like never get gigs, and like the super underqualified people who
they're
like,
always the ones on top.
you know, and you hear all the time. So the like I was asking, how do you strike that balance between being like confident enough to like land gigs, but like you're not underselling yourself, or you're not coming across as like,
because that's a big one.
arrogant, or like you're not too humble. So I forgot who said it, and I forgot when they said it or whatever, but it was something along the lines of, please, I'm sorry if like
I butcher.
it's yours, it's not mine. But it was something along the lines of like, don't trust your capacity, don't trust whether or not you can do it. Don't doubt your capacity. Sorry, here you go. Don't doubt your capacity, don't doubt whether or not you can do it. You doubt and you doubt and you doubt and you doubt again your process, your methodology,
that's really
how
good.
you're going to do it. So it's never a question of can I do it or not, right? That's not. It's not about you. It's about your plan. What does a plan look like? How can we refine it? And when I say doubt and doubt and doubt again, I mean work and work and rework. Ask other people. Look at it from different angles. It's not to say procrastinate or like hold it off, but like think about that. That should be the thing that comes under review, not you. A lot of the time, and you know what? It's really the coward's way out. The whole I can't do it. It's really the coward's way out, because you are unwilling to apply yourself at like reworking your process, or doubting your process, or like actually your plan coming under review.
And I think your brand is actually a good testament of that, because I've seen how you actively take the feedback that you get from people and implement it. I know there was like a situation with like Switch Rally a couple of years ago, and you took that feedback and acknowledged it and said, people, I hear you. I'm going to go back, think about it, and fix it. And when you're working with a company as big as yours, is it a company? Am I supposed to call it a company? Brand? Beyonce.
Beyonce.
She's
I
a
like-
Beyonce.
I like Beyonce.
You like Beyonce, yes. When you're working with a Beyonce as big as yours, with as many girls involved in it, when was the point that you realized that you actually can't do it alone? Like, you speak so much about don't take it seriously, all these things, but the reality is that the brand grows bigger than what Rabia alone can handle. And there comes a point where you need to call on community and people around you to say, guys, help me make this thing great. When did you realize that it's time to onboard help, and how did you go about that?
So the topic of help is not foreign to me. I'm the last of 5,
Yeah, you are a last born.
but I'm also the last of 40 first cousins. 40.
That's a lot of babies.
The last one. I'm like the seal of that cousinhood. You understand? So the concept of help is not foreign to me. I've been the baba. I've been like everybody fussing over me, Rabia, you need go change, or like you don't look let's help you, like, you need to get somewhere, okay, cool, no, this one will take you. Or so in my business, like, it's always been, I've never felt out of place to ask. I've never felt like I won't be helped, because I know on Insta, if I must go right now and like post a question, there will be like 100 girls trying to like help me answer that question, be it something to do with the packaging, be it something to do with the formula, something to do with the applicator. Like, I know those people care not just about like my business, but they care about me.
Yeah.
And like, they're gonna help me. Also, I don't know, dude. Like,
She's
I have a feeling, obviously very privileged of me to say this, but I have a feeling that like, if you believe it there for you, it will be there for you.
100%.
Like, if you believe that someone will help you, someone will help you. You know, it's like I receive. I'm open to it. I'm open
Give
to
it
it.
to me.
You know, so part of the thing, like, okay, so in my instance, I never believed that it wasn't there for me, so it was always there for me.
That's
but
good.
I can't deny that. I've been blessed, very very lucky, and such. That's all I can say about that.
But my thing is, I think beyond you being lucky, it's a testament to your energy as a person, like the kind of person that you are. Like, you spoke about how girls always wear gold jewelry, right? And the fact that you're able to go on Instagram and have like 100 girls come back and give you feedback and say, oh, do it like this, don't do it like that. It speaks to the fact that you are the person who's open to community like that. Everything that you do is facilitated around community. And so what has the role of community been in your business?
I have one thing to say.
Yeah.
Who better for you than the girls?
Nobody.
Who better for you than the girls?
She said she's from the hood.
Please.
The girlhood.
The girlhood. You know, I think about this all the time. The fact that more people are not consulting their customers on a real level is crazy. Like, who better to tell you what to do than the people who are going to end up paying for that product or spending their money on that product? Like, all the time, companies send out these surveys and stuff, and it's like, what do you think of? And
It's
you
so
know,
cold.
they don't even care. You know, they're not going to change it, you know? But like, when you like stop trying to, what did I heard this the other day? Someone said, stop trying to hear and actually listen. So like, they be like, we hear you. And you're like, okay, but listen.
We hear you.
Okay, but
Are
listen.
you listening?
Are you exactly, right? So like, when a customer learns that like the things that they say are valued and important, because they are valued and they are important, when they learn that, they will not be like, they will be super quick to help you or like give you feedback or whatever the case is. But like, if you keep asking, hey, what should we do, or how should we do it, or was the service rated 10 out of... Be for real. Be so for real, right? Nobody wants to be for real these days. When, like, if you learn that, like, I'm just going to submit the survey and nothing's going to happen, you're not going to
You
want to
stop
help.
after some time.
Get out of my inbox. Get out.
She said, get out right now. Yeah. You know, something that came up for me as you're speaking is the fact that you have to be open to listening, right? And not just hearing people, but actually listening. And now you're a last born, you're the 41st cousin, you're just the last of everything, like the baby. There's so many voices and so many people speaking into your ear about your life, so many opinions, so many aunties, so many uncles. Now, for me, I'm like, do you have one person that you go to for consistent advice, like a mentor or someone to guide you as you rise to the top of the ranks?
Ameen. That's like, amen.
She
Okay?
said, I receive
And
it. We've been receiving the whole day, Nje.
Swing some. Yeah, 100%. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, my father. And like, so my father is like this really like cute brown,
Cute brown.
you know, like he's short even, and like Paddington the bear. Picture Paddington the bear, but the Indian human version of this animated character. He actually looks so much like a teddy bear that growing up my friends would call him Uncle Teddy.
Oh,
that was
that's
his
crazy.
name.
But that's not his real name.
No.
Wild.
Anyways, he is very like sensei, like, you know, old master type, like never tell you what to do, never ever be like, oh yes, take this route or don't do this, or always like give you some weird abstract riddle. Like, I cannot explain it to you. Like every time I'll be like, Dad, I'm in this situation, what should I do? He'll ponder and be like, well, you know, look within. And then you're like,
That's
just
not
tell
the
me what to
answer
do.
that I need.
Tell me what to do.
But also, you said he's 74.
And when I was younger, it would really frustrate me. Like, I would be like, tell me what to do. But now I realize what he was doing was he was building the skills in myself to listen to my intuition, right? Because our intuition tells us all the time. The problem is, like, we treat it like a little kid, right? If a kid come up to you and be like, oh, yeah, the first time, and you don't listen to them, they're going to be like, okay, cool. Then they'll come up to you the second time, and you don't listen. The third time, they're going to be like,
This adult doesn't
I
care.
don't want to talk to you anymore because you don't listen. So our intuition works the same way. It can keep telling us stuff, but like the less we like listen, the less it's going to speak up. And then a lot of the time you hear women say things like, I don't actually know what I want, or my body's trying to tell me something, but I don't know what it's like. I'm so confused. It's because you treated the intuition like a little kid. So what my father was doing was very concertedly making that voice in my head and in my heart and in my soul, that voice louder, amplifying. He was amplifying that voice, those decision-making skills, etc., which is really the true work of a mentor. The true work of a mentor is
I
not
love
to
that you said that.
like is not to tell you what to do or how to be or how to develop yourself. The true work of a mentor is to like understand that you come into this world already wired with everything that you need to be the best version of yourself. The true work of a mentor is like to polish you, to polish and make you shine.
That's so good. Yo, that's a bar right there. I don't think I've ever heard anyone speak about mentorship like that, because for a lot of us, it's like you're looking for a mentor because they're supposed to tell you the next steps in your journey, or they're supposed to
you're supposed
unlock
to
the next door.
respect them, right? Or you're
Yes.
supposed to admire them. You're supposed to want to be them. Nah.
She said, nah.
That's not the mentor. The mentor, you are supposed to be like, you're supposed to feel like, you're supposed to like adore them. You're supposed to be like enamored by them. Like, it's nothing to do with like respect or status or like you here and I'm here and I learn from you. It's not like a disciple thing, right? It's not like a master and a disciple thing. However, I will say that when the student is ready, the master appears, right? So when you are at that point in your life where you need to learn a certain lesson, the master will come in the form of a person, a challenge, a setback, a propellant, whatever
That's
it
good.
is. When the student is ready, the master appears. But in the way of mentorship, your mentor is not supposed to be this master person and you're like this disciple person. You're supposed to be like besotted by your mentor and like just, yeah,
What is besotted?
like in love.
Oh.
Like, wow, I love this person. I feel so safe with this person. I can truly be myself, and I know this person is seeing me with eyes that the rest of people are not seeing me with. Like, they're seeing the me beyond the me I sell myself to be, or the me beyond the me I speak myself to be. They're
They
seeing
see
like,
your heart.
bruh. And like a lot of the time, that's a sibling, that's a parent. A lot of the time, like you ask someone who their mentor is, and like sometimes they may say like it's X person or Y person, but like the bulk of the interviews I've watched, it's their mother or their father, right? Now you gotta ask yourself, what if you are in a position where your mother or your father is maybe not around to be your mentor? Maybe they are around to be your mentor, but you know this person is just not fit to be your mentor.
Yeah.
Then you realize that, like, it's my responsibility to make myself into someone that can be a mentor to those kids
To
that
the
come
next
after me.
person.
That, like, they may not even be my kids. Maybe
That's
they're your
good.
kids, right? Maybe you want to be that mother or that father. Maybe they're your kids, but maybe there are other kids in society or in the community that you have now the responsibility with this awareness. You have the responsibility to mold yourself into a person that can function as those figures in their lives. So, do you receive?
I receive. She said, I love how you ended it. So, do you receive?
Because a lot of
I
the
receive.
time, like, it's this thing of like, oh, but I don't have that person in my life. Or like, Rabia, it's so easy for you to come from this perspective because
Because
you're wired like
privileged.
that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, of course, I am blessed. I can't deny that I'm blessed. But like, when you reach a certain level of awareness, you then have a responsibility. You have almost like an obligation, right? Because if you were not obligated, if it weren't your responsibility, your divinely ordinated or your like universally ordinated responsibility, you would never become aware of it. So it's one type of person that goes, I don't have that, and it's another type of person that goes, I don't have that, I want that so I can share that. I want that so I can give that. So yeah.
And beyond people, are there resources, maybe like, is there a particular figure or books that you read to kind of like pull knowledge from people that aren't in your reach?
Yo, dude, so books, hey, what a thing. What a thing.
Love it.
Hey.
Can you write a biography so I can buy it, please?
Yo, who would even read that?
Me,
so
I'm
real.
gonna read it.
I'm gonna just tell people about the chicken sliders.
But that's the story that people need to hear, because those are real life lived experiences.
Hey. Biography, eh? Imagine.
She's not serious, and she's gonna write it.
Unserious behavior, truly. Books are like, I read something the other day. This guy's his advice was that if you read the newspaper every single day, you will know more than any college graduate. Basically, when people have thoughts and emotions, right? And when you can articulate those thoughts and emotions well, am I supposed to look to camera? Is it fine? Okay. So people have thoughts and emotions, right? And like when you're able to articulate those thoughts and emotions well, life just gets a lot easier. So how do you articulate? You build a vocabulary. How do you build a vocabulary?
By
you
reading.
read books, bruh.
And that's coming from a high school dropout, guys.
I what is this? When I was baby, like maybe like 3, 4, I could read. And my parents realized that. Like my dad saw that in me. He was like, oh snap, you can read. And like you're 3 or 4, you're not supposed to be able to read. So he sent me for a speed reading course.
Oh, wow.
Like at that age there, you're super neuroplastic, you're super malleable.
Yes.
And since then, I've been able to like assimilate large amounts of information in very like small amounts of time. And I've just been inhaling books. Take it in, right? And so there is like, how can I say this to you? There's nothing that you can't teach yourself, bruh. Like, we have the internet.
You
be for real.
are preaching.
We have the internet. Buy a book. You can learn, like, what you're going to learn in, like, life orientation about, like, SIPO and buying 15 watermelons.
SIPO and Tabo and how there's no water and E. coli and boring.
Why did they need 15 watermelons?
No, there was no need.
But-
There was no need.
What was-
SIPO only needed one slice.
I have been now out of school for 10 years. I have never needed 15 watermelons.
It's wild. But I think I really want to say thank you so much for like taking the time to let us into your world, because a lot of the times when people hear something like, oh, she dropped out of high school to pursue a business or whatever the case may be, they'll assume, like you were saying at the beginning, that you're uneducated. But the reality is you still are in the pursuit of skills. You still are in the pursuit of education. It just doesn't look, what's the word, traditional. Like it's not the same path that every single person has gone. And in the current climate of the South African youth, where like a lot of us can't afford to go to university, like sometimes it's circumstances. Maybe for you, yes, fine, you chose to leave school, but other people don't get to choose. You know, they have to leave school, and it's like, oh, now it feels like my world is crumbling because I was told education is the key to success. But I think what you've unlocked is the fact that education doesn't just happen in a primary school or in a high school or in a university. Education happens when you decide, and that looks like buying a book and taking it home. It can happen in your bedroom. It can happen on the commute to work, whatever that looks like for you.
Dog, we say in the school of life, okay, that's where we at. This is the institution, the school of life.
That's the true school right there. And school of life will teach you things.
And everyone is your teacher.
Everyone is your teacher, even the ones that you don't want to teach. That ex-boyfriend who is evil, that's the teacher right there.
You know what I'm learning recently? Let me fix how I'm sitting. Do you know what
posture.
I'm learning recently? Is like the people who you judge are like your biggest teachers. You know, sometimes like you meet someone and your instinct, your natural human instinct is to sum them up. Like, oh, this is this person, this is their likes or their dislikes, their inclinations, their preferences. You're deciding things about this person's character by just looking at them.
Bias.
And then they go and like violate all of those things. They're not any of those things that you projected them to be or imagined them to be. And those are your greatest teachers, bruh.
And I think it's about being open then to learning. And I want to learn from you. We've got a segment, it's called the hot seat, right? And basically I ask you some rapid fire questions, not a lot of questions, like 4 questions. Right.
I've never interviewed well, but sure, go.
I think you can do a good job. You've been doing a good job so far, right? I'm gonna ask you 4 questions. Just give me whatever comes to mind, and then we hit shoot. Yeah, exactly.
LeBron James.
Period. That's who I am. Question 1, Miss Rabia, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1, advice to someone starting a business or charting a new path.
Inhale, go on Google, search the industry, go on ChatGPT and inhale that information. Like, the acquisition of information, that's it, that's your friend. Because like, also inhale and start also. You know, a lot of the time we like get too caught up in the information bit of it and we like lose out on the practical. The school of life is your teacher after all, right? So
You gotta do to see.
every time I was younger, I used to watch these interviews. They'd be like, what's your best business advice? And then this like billionaire sitting there be like, just start. And you're like,
Boring, like give me step 1.
okay, but tell me how.
Yes.
Tell me how. If you're saying just start, then tell me how. And I get it now because there are things that you only learn on the other side of starting.
100%.
So
just start. Question 2, best way to get funding for a business.
ooh. I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, because you're a hustler.
And a lot of the time I say I've never needed funding, and people think it's because my family gave me the money. And I want to just let you know that when I started my business, my father borrowed me 6,000 rand. 6,000 rand.
Borrowed.
Hey, I gave that money
Emphasis on
back.
borrow.
I gave that money back in like 4 months or 5 months. And I think also like you I know there are certain businesses that can never function like that, right? There are certain businesses where you need money to
Capital.
start. My advice is then to start another business that like doesn't require a lot of capital to like build up the reserves to then start that business, because also it's a lot easier to get funding when you have an operation.
Yes, 100%.
So you can't be going to someone being like, hey, I need money to start this business that I haven't even like begun thinking about yet, or like there's absolutely nothing. We're just like, you start something, even if you just have like a little website and you like got your thing, or like you've got a little presentation, a little deck, Insta, something, you know, there's some meat and like flesh on these bones. Then you go to someone and be like, okay, do you want to invest in my business? And then it becomes a lot easier for people to say yes, because like you did something. Everyone has ideas, babe. Something I'm
That's
learning
true.
in life. Us as people, we are not short of ideas, because it's easy to be objective when you don't have a personal stake in the situation. It's easy to go, if I had this type of business, I would do this, I would do that, I would do that. It's because you don't have that business. That's why you would do that and that. The second that business is yours, the second there's something at stake, you wouldn't do that and that and that and that. You would do other things, which you never know until you start.
100%. And then last but not least, tips for finding a mentor if you don't have one at home.
Hey. Yo, I'm always a fan of like the hard pitch. You know, the email. Like, hey,
Really?
can you please? Yeah.
But ma'am, would that work on you?
Yes. Of course. I like obviously take on as much as I can, right?
Yes.
So like, do all the people that email me like get? I will say that if you already have something going for yourself, like if I see like potential, there's a higher chance of me being like, yes, I will help you.
That's
Which
good.
is why the greater advice is start something, but make a logo, go on ChatGPT, make a brand deck, like be for real right now. Don't be telling me about I wanna.
Give
you
me
know?
something to believe in.
Everyone wants to.
That's true.
Who's did it? Who's done?
You did though. You did. Thank you so much, Rabia, for spending your afternoon with us.
No.
You are gorgeous, okay? Even more gorgeous in real life than what you look like on the pictures. And that's a testament to no filter lifestyle. And having a brand that actually does what it says it's set out to do, which is be a real brand for real people. So thank you so much for all that you do for us, for the wisdom and the pearls of advice that you've given us. I think Just Do is probably one of the most powerful ones that you've given today.
Man, Nike said that so long ago. Please.
They said that so long ago, but I mean, it is real, because a lot of people are stuck in the like planning and where am I going to get the money? And there's so many worries that can drown you out, when the reality is if you just start, the chances are you'll find a mentor along the way. You'll find the funding along the way. The people who want to support you will come and rally alongside you.
Also, like the more you immerse yourself in something, the greater understanding you have of what you need. So like when that mentor comes, when that funder comes, you understand exactly what you need, how you need it, what it means. You know, like you feel more confident, stronger in yourself because you started something, like you have some experience.
And what would you say that confidence is the only thing you need, basically?
Please believe. Please
Just believe.
You have to believe. Don't doubt yourself. Doubt your process.
That's so good. Don't doubt yourself, doubt your process. You heard it here first. That's how we wrap up our conversation with the founder of Switch Beauty. Her name is Rabia, and you can find her all over social media. Follow her brand at SWIITCH.
Double I.
Double I. Just say double I when you click Switch Beauty and you'll find it. Otherwise, you can also find our previous episodes right here on this YouTube channel. This was another episode of DiCHiPi UNFiLTERED, but of course, the JiK'iVERSE doesn't stop here. You can also go to www.bigsis.co.za if you're navigating your business struggles and you don't really know how to figure it out for your unique journey. Big Sis is there to make sure that she will hold your hand throughout all your business needs. Otherwise, from myself, Barbara, it's been absolutely fabulous. I'll see you next week. Mwah!